Hi everybody, Russ from the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well, if not a bit down in the dumps. Having got knocked out of the bloody Carroll Cup as well. But, you know, we're still in the Conference League. We're still there. We're still there. And one game to go for the World Cup. Possibly the right time for having a break. Maybe for West Ham fans at the moment, I'll be honest. But Leicester City, Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff. What's going on with that, eh, guys? But what you can do is if you want to pick and have your selection on who you think should be playing, go onto the West Ham Network community tab and you can vote who you want to gain goal. If you want anyone of that rabble to play, and we'll be bringing that as well as our own predicted 11s and all the preview stuff. And then we've got the World Cup, and we've got some really different ex-Hammers coming on as well, which I think is going to be quite interesting. Different perspectives as well. So make sure you keep on with the West Ham Network and subscribe to the channel. We'll also have a sort of a small behind-the-scenes vlog from my time where we were at the West Ham Network, was invited to attend the Sky Bet Gary Neville, the Overlap live podcasty thing. And obviously, because we're West Ham, and we're not in the greedy six, we only got 2 minutes at the end. But hey. Can't be helped. Anyway, I thought I'd keep it light today. Let's keep it light. I gave you my ratings at lunchtime. Check them out and disagree with them, because that's what you do anyway. I was a little bit scathing, I thought, than my usual half glass filled attitude. Maybe it's a third fill now, you know, get a bit. But anyway, regardless of that, let's talk about some transfer rumours. That always pips me up. We've got some rumours which are quite interesting around sort of changing of the guards. So obviously I spoke I think last week, also on Monday, about Soufal maybe going to buy Leverkusen, and you know, maybe changing of that sort of. Obviously we've got Tilo Kehrer now at the right side, but one position and one player I think a lot of people have sort of was quite divisive, Thomas Souček, and particularly with our number one transfer target apparently in January, it looks like we're looking at replacing him in the first team, potentially. Let's start with the number one transfer target. So according to Sport Blind, West Ham have made Borussia Mönchengladbach 21-year-old Frenchman ace Manu Kone their number one target. Now, last month, the Gladbach sporting director, Roland Vegas, insisted that if Kone were to leave Borussia Park in the near future, it would be to a team significantly better than Borussia Mönchengladbach. Does that count? Does West Ham count as that? I'm not too sure. Obviously, it's been a fantastic opportunity for the Frenchman to play in, you know, he'll get a pay rise and also, you know, play himself in one of the most high-profile domestic leagues in Europe. But according to the article in Blind, West Ham have scouted the all-action Frenchman on several occasions. Now, whether the 21-year-old midfielder is keen on West Ham as they are on him remains to be seen. There is the French connection, which is useful. You know, we've got the likes of Areola, who's going to the World Cup. He's in the World Cup squad. Zuma's obviously not. A lot of French-speaking players that could help. He's strong technically. Apparently, he has a great personality, a real sort of presence in the team, despite being a 21, relatively young, stylish, powerful central midfielder. One who has drawn comparisons, and hopefully good comparisons, with Paul Pogba due to his footwork and rangy frame. He's quite a gangly bloke. One would in theory assume could be a replacement for Thomas Souček. It goes along the same lines when we were looking at Onana, sort of that big rangy midfielder, and he could potentially, create a very exhilarating midfield. Lots of energy, dynamism, and I think that's what we lack. And that drive for midfield, we have that with Deck, but it's his partner, and Flynn's got it. But Flynn don't play in that position at the moment, so maybe it'll definitely be some energy coming into the side. He won't come cheap. Yeah, I don't think he'll come cheap. I think you're looking at around sort of late 20s, early 30 million pound mark. I would assume, but we don't know. There was no price quoted in the article. Another similar player we've been linked with, who I haven't got his picture on, I've just noticed, Ever the Professional, ever the professional, but I'll stall while I'm uploading it, is this guy. There we go. Ibrahim Sangare, and the guy we was looking at in the summer. Now, apparently, us, Leicester, and Forest have all sent scouts to PSV Eindhoven on several occasions, including the 2-1 win over Ajax on last Sunday, with Ibrahim Sangare starring in the midfield, and that was according to articles in the 90 minutes. There's speculation surrounding his future. Meanwhile, everything is sort of on pause until January. But the impending transfer window will see his name return to the gossip columns, no doubt. And all of the three clubs have sent scouts to watch him go head to head, as I said, with Ajax last Sunday. The powerful Ivory Coast international was on our radar last summer. He was valued around £34 million. And obviously, again, would represent an upgrade to Thomas Souček. But similarly for Leicester, got Sumare, he's doesn't look very suited to the game. I think Everton were looking at him as well. And I mean, even Leicester as well. They've got Wilfred Ndidi, whose form's nosedived over the last sort of year and a half as well. Interestingly, Sanya turned down Everton and Southampton, I think, back in 2020 in favour for joining PSV Eindhoven. So maybe it's time for him to move to the Premier League finally. Who knows? Again, young lad, he's early 20s as well. So again, that's sort of youthful exuberance as well, and just a powerhouse in midfield. And I think so. He would just dominate midfields, particularly in the Premier League. I think, which would be something we sort of need. I think we need to sort of really not, tie in that midfield when we're playing games against opposition. That's for sure. And final, another sort of maybe changing of the guard, maybe. Possibly in West Ham apparently registered their interest in signing Michael Keane from Everton in January, according to sources, several sources. The West Ham team were interested in him back in the summer, but we couldn't agree a deal. And I think also that was part of the issue with Craig Dawson he wanted to leave. We was going to let him leave to Wolves, but we didn't get a replacement in. Now, obviously, there's doubts over Craig's future, and I have no doubt if we'd secured someone like Michael Keane, he would be allowed to leave and return back up north to be with his family. Now, he's 29. He hasn't had much game time under Fat Frank. He tends to be Cody and Tarkowski. They're sort of nailed on starters for Everton at the moment. I think he's played just like 20 odd minutes in the Premier League this year. Although he did play the full 90 in the Carabao Cup against Bournemouth, but they lost 4-1, and he's defender, so yeah, all good. Over the previous two Premier League campaigns, he's missed apparently only 9 games. So he's Mr. Consistent really across those 2 seasons. I think that quotes. Apparently, Everton have quoted us 10 million quid for him. I think that's about 2 or 3 million quid. I think if you got him for maybe 6 or 7, I think that would represent a good. He's 29, so he's still got a good few years in him for a centre back. And if he would go in as a 4th choice, with the likes of Naya Figued, Zuma, Ugbonna, Keane, Ben Johnson can also play centre back. Aaron Cresswell has played centre back as well. Whether that's an upgrade to Craig Dawson, I don't know. But obviously, Craig Dawson has not just on the pitch, but it's the person. It's seeing his family and stuff like that, which any dad would want. Would want to be that close to their kids. So if any way that we can make that possible, I think that's something which is a morality, not morality to that, but you know what I mean. It's sort of it's beyond football. So I don't know in essence, but there we go. We just report the news to you guys rather than necessarily agree with it or whatever. And that's it. So as I said, thank you so much for your time. As I say, go back and check out the rating show. I think tonight we've got Old School Hammers with Budgie, so you come and have a chat with him and have a moan. I'll be back tomorrow with Have You Say Friday in the afternoon, and then we'll be doing the press conference for Hammers Headlines for the Leicester game on a Saturday. Unbelievable, Jeff. And that's it. So take care, everyone. Stay safe, stay warm, stay positive, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Ta-ta for now. Bye-bye.